welcome. My name is Evgeny Rusakov and you're watching TVP World, interview from Vilnius. It's been more than 930 days of war in Ukraine now. Russian armed forces are pushing in Donbas and Kursk regions, while Ukrainians are fighting back and trying to stand their ground. To discuss the latest news from the battlefield, we are joined today by the retired colonel from the Association of Colonels and Team Europe Direct expert, Vaidotas Malinionis. Hello, Vaidotas, and thank you for joining us today.
Thank you for inviting.
So, first of all, what's the situation on the battlefield at this specific moment? How are Ukrainians doing in Kursk region and Russians in Donbas?
Well, generally talking, we can say that situation in war between Russia and Ukraine is kind of stalemate. Yes, no one side has capability or ability to make some kind of breakthrough. Yes, although we know that Russia during this summer, during this year, were fighting in Donbas region, and they were gaining incremental gains. Yes, although it's not very big, but anyway, it is significant, step by step. And they are right now we have main axis of approach towards Pokrovsk, yes, and they are actually not very far already from Pokrovsk, but according to Ukrainian side, they announced that they already managed to stop the advance. So we will see in a couple of days or a couple of weeks how they will succeed. And also Ukrainians, beside this slow war, we know that they occupied a pretty big part of Kursk region. Yes, it's over 1,300 square kilometers. So it's even more than Russia managed to gain in Donbas region throughout
during all the summer.
All the summer, yes. And the biggest, problem for Ukraine is that they have no capability to attack inside of Russia because of restrictions. And biggest problem is, of course, President Biden's administration. They are not allowing for them to use their, rockets, systems. Yes, and missile systems and other ATACMS systems to the legitimate military targets inside of Russia. So
we'll come back to this question. Yeah, please go on.
Yeah, and having such restrictions, they can reach only 13% of all targets they would like to have to be they would like to hit. And that also brings problems because they can launch, for example, from airports, the fighter jets, which are using those gliding bombs, yes. And gliding bombs, Russia introduced those gliding bombs by the end of last year. And those gliding bombs brings pretty significant, problem for Ukraine because
what are those? Okay, what are those bombs? What is this about?
Well, gliding bomb is, powerful aviation bomb which can have up to 1,500 kilograms of TNT. Okay. Yes, which is a pretty significant and powerful weapon. And they launched those gliding bombs in the territory of Russia, and they can, fly on its own up to 50 kilometers. Okay. And after they are launched, it's almost impossible to destroy them.
Okay.
Yes, and they are destroying very effectively, Ukrainian positions, and they also, of course, we are destroying civilian infrastructure. So then that is a problem, and that's the reason Ukraine needs permission and capability to hit inside of Russia.
By the way, you've mentioned Pokrovsk.
Yes.
So how crucial is this town for both sides, for Ukrainians and for Russians?
Well, first of all, Pokrovsk is a very important logistical hub for Ukraine. It's not only for the military, but also for civilian needs. That hub also has, many connections with railways, roads, And if Ukraine will lose Pokrovsk, then they will face significant problems how they can, support the armed forces which are, fighting with the Russian forces, with the Russian troops. That's the reason they will have to roll back to the closer to mainland, to Kiev, and occupy other positions. So it could. Right now I don't know how many square kilometers they will lose, but definitely it will be pretty significant. But of course, it's not the end of the story yet. But anyway, right now Ukrainians are doing everything to withhold that position.
And this is exactly the reason why Russians need that city, right?
Yes, it's because it will open for them, maneuver capabilities. Yes, and it weaken, Ukrainian troops which are fighting in Donbas region.
Okay, well, clear. So you've already mentioned that. So that according to some experts, this invasion of Kursk did not change the course of war because the situation on the Ukrainian front line has not improved, and Russia is on the verge of occupying Pokrovsk, as you already mentioned. So how in general would you evaluate then this Kursk operation? Was this a successful Ukrainian armed forces move, and is this still a successful operation?
I am opponent of that opinion. That my opinion that was very successful operation. First of all, it was completely unexpected. Nobody expected actually that attack. Russia, of course, also didn't expect. And they managed and Ukraine demonstrated that they are capable to fight maneuver warfare, which Russia is not capable to do in doing so. And it demonstrated that Russia has no, idea how to deal with that kind of maneuver warfare, maneuver operations. And Ukrainians employed, of course, their best troops, and they managed to gain more than 1,300 square kilometers in Kursk region. And Russia's Putin is trying to downplay this importance of this Kursk region, but I think in the future he will face problems. Because if we take Pokrovsk, or if they not take Pokrovsk, hopefully not, anyway, the offensive will culminate, let's say soon. No more than 5-10 weeks, I think, and winter season is coming, and they will culminate. And not only because of winter, because, Russia is also overstretching their capabilities. Right? They know that winter is coming, and they, of course, pushing all effort, to gain as more terrain, as more victories as possible. So that's the reason. And they chose Pokrovsk direction as a main effort. So that's the reason they are trying to achieve, and they're pushing, their soldiers to that, and they are also Ukraine inflict huge losses for them. We know that on average, plus minus, Ukrainians destroy 1,000 and more troops of Russia. So it's really a war of attrition. So, but we will see. And after the culmination, yes, they will face again. They will have problem in Kursk region, and they will have stopped operation in Pokrovsk. So, and then they will face the dilemma again: what they do further? Yes, shall they reinforce Kursk region, or shall they, try to move in Donbas? But I think that why they trying to inflict that Kursk region is not important for them, because simply they cannot do anything about that. Because in order to push out Ukrainian troops from Kursk region, they need to employ best their brigades what they have in Pokrovsk direction. So
and they cannot move them from
there. They cannot.
Because they need to take Pokrovsk.
Because no, it's not only, but because if we start moving, do you know what does it mean, moving of the brigade?
You tell me.
It's more than 1,000 kilometers if we go around to Pokrovsk. It takes 4 3, 4, 5 weeks, to move, which means that they can even lose initiative in Pokrovsk, and no one guarantees that they will, will be very successful in Kursk region. Plus, troops on the move are very vulnerable.
Okay.
If columns will start moving, that will be the perfect target for Ukrainian Artillery, for Ukrainian drones, for Ukrainian all indirect fire systems. That's the reason their command, the general staff did decision that let's stick on Pokrovsk, because nothing can do right now with Kursk. And Putin is officially downplaying the importance, but it is important.
Do you think that we could see any breakthrough for Ukrainian armed forces this winter?
I don't see.
You don't think so?
I don't think so. I don't think that until the spring of 2025 we will see some significant changes. Probably will not.
We'll probably see a stalemate as
stalemate.
Just what we see right now.
Right now, yes. Indirect fire weapons, artillery, bombing, so both sides. Now we see that Ukraine are gaining more capability, to reach targets inside of Russia. So my opinion, in this winter will not change. We will not face significant changes in the battlefield. But this winter is important for both sides, for the preparations for the next season.
Okay.
Yes, and Russia definitely will be doing everything to be the best ready, for the spring offensives. Yes, for the beginning, and Western countries must also produce another important impulse to support Ukraine, to prepare them for the next year, for the next season. And additionally, of course, it's very pity that Biden's administration is still, forbids for Ukraine to use Western indirect fire weapons inside of Russia. The only one restriction West should, ask from Ukraine is to hit only legitimate military targets, not to hit civilian infrastructure, Act according, all conventions, treat prisoners of war according, Geneva Convention. So this is the only restrictions should be. And I don't know how and who invented that,
red lines.
Ukraine showed that while taking Kursk, they showed that those red lines.
They're still capable.
Those red lines, not really red lines.
Just want to ask you vice versa. Winter for Russian armed forces. What's the logic? Take as much as possible, wait for Trump to win, because they really rely on Trump's winning in the next US president elections, and then propose peace talks. What's the logic there?
Yeah, it looks like they would like to have Trump, but
they
Trump,
count on him very much.
Yeah, probably, yes, but Trump, is unpredictable. So we also,
and he knows the plan.
He knows the plan. And I would say that I am not 100% sure he will be playing, entirely for Russian side. So hope not. But we will see.
But we never know.
Yeah, we never know. So yes, elections will be important, and we will see who will be new president, Kamala Harris or Trump. But what concerns me that right now Ukraine is not receiving big packages of support. The last package was, which was delayed, yes, from the last year.
That $60 billion package.
Over $60 billion package. And after that, only, 200 million, so it's small pieces. So and that concerns me a lot. But I hope that after, maybe even before elections, West will understand that how it is important to make Ukraine stronger, because winter support must be, boosted. It must be, much bigger. So we should not relax, and we should do everything that Ukraine will get all support it needs, and we have to provide more, of course, because war is expensive.
Vaidotas, well, let's I guess hope for more good news then.
Let's hope.
Yeah. Thank you for joining us today. Thank you.
Thank you, Paul, for privilege.
And I would like to remind our viewers that our guest for today was the retired colonel from the Association of Colonels and Team Europe Direct expert, Vaidotas Malinionis. You're watching TVP World. Stay with us.